Bowl, NFC Championship game. If you treat it the same, it's just ball, man. It's 60 minutes, potentially plus, of flying around with your brothers and having a great time and playing the greatest game in the world. The standard is always the standard. The media doesn't determine the standard. The opponents don't determine our standard. The standard is the standard, and we compete every day.
Week number 6 of this NFL season. Time for another edition of Cowboys Huddle inside the Globe Life Studios here at the Star in Frisco. Bill Jones along with Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer as the Cowboys get set to take on the Carolina Panthers on the road. A noon kickoff Texas time, and coach, two teams looking for their second straight win, trying to build some momentum as you get into the heart of the season here in October football now.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's fall is here, I guess you can say. We don't necessarily feel it on the practice field, but this is a good time of year. We're excited for this opportunity.
All right, and a coaching staff in Carolina you're very familiar with. Dave Canales, you work with in Seattle. Others on that offensive coaching staff in particular you worked with in Seattle. What do you expect when you see a Canales coach team?
I tell you what, Dave's personality is one of, again, attention to detail. They have a lot of fun. He's got good energy about him, and just a good man. The team's playing well. I thought they just, were very dominant when you look at the game against Miami, and they came storming back from down 17-0. But I mean, they rushed for over 200 and something yards, and they held the Dolphins to 19 yards rushing. So this game's going to be all about owning the line of scrimmage.
They're playing very well at home. In fact, they had a 30-0 win over Atlanta a few weeks ago at home. How do you see Bryce Young settling in? He's got some big weapons outside, and the rookie Tet McMillan, as well as Xavier Legette as well.
Yeah, I mean, great size on the perimeter. But again, let's not fool ourselves. This is a team that wants to run the football, and they've done that at a very high level when they've played well and won. They're 2-0 at home. But in terms of Bryce, I mean, I think anytime you can lead a team back from a 17-0 deficit, which they had last week, it gives you confidence. And he loves to throw the ball up to both those big guys. And then you got to look at Hunter Renfrow on third down. What a great job he's doing. They're utilizing him the right way with some of the little option and choice routes and getting the ball in his hands.
And you talk about running the football. They got a stable of running backs. Chuba Hubbard was out last week, but Rico Dowdle, former Cowboy, went for over 200 yards a week ago.
Yeah, excited to see Rico. He had a heck of a game. And again, he's a guy with tremendous power. Great vision and feet, and so we're going to have to gang tackle him and do a great job of our hamstring tackles.
All right, when you look at your defense, and of course Jack Sanborn goes out in concussion protocol last week, and how about Shamar James and how he stepped up, the rookie out of Florida, the Florida Gator, 5th-round draft pick, got 70 snaps, but he was getting on the field in a rotation in sub-packages even before Sanborn went.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was, we're not surprised by what Shamar's doing. Great instincts, great feel, 15-plus tackles, I think. Again, I thought the adjustment of K9 having to move in and be the green dot and make all the calls, that's the bigger adjustment. And, I really love the way that we just affected the quarterback. I thought, again, we were dominant the way we got after the quarterback. We hit Justin Fields all day. And, again, it's good to show that we can do that. But, again, this week's going to be about stopping the run game and making Bryce Young have to be there.
All right. We'll get into more on getting to the quarterback later on the show. But up next here on Cowboys Huddle, it's Will McClay in the film room.
Just keep playing with our physicality, all the things that we talk about, being violent, running to the ball, punching at the ball, being physical, and it all started how we practice. I think we had a really good practice today. It was a physical practice, and we know we got another physical team that we're going to be playing against, and we gotta be right.
Cowboys Huddle with Brian Schottenheimer, powered by Reliant, is brought to you by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com. Ford, your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Bank of America, what would you like the power to do? And by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort. Proud to be the casino of the Dallas Cowboys. Please game responsibly.
I'm not going to change the way I approach any week because of who we're facing. It's always the same. The standard is the standard.
First time you guys have faced Carolina 3 years in a row now. Any familiarity, when you go there? I mean, it's a whole bunch of Cowboy fans in Charlotte.
Definitely a little bit familiar. Like, they got a lot of the same guys, so, but the preparation stays the same. You respect every opponent. This is a really good team. Like you said, they're coming off of 200 yards rushing, so you can't sleep on them at all.
Welcome back to Cowboys Huddle here inside the Globe Life Studios. Bill Jones now joined by Will McClay. We got the telestrator out. We're going to break down what the Carolina Panthers have on both offense and defense. Let's start on offense, Will, and how about the run game? And number 30, Chuba Hubbard, who has been their starter. Of course, Rico Dowdle getting action last week, expected this week. But what do they do in the run game?
Well, they're in the top 10 rushing in the league so far, all right? So you want to look at it. Their offensive line is good, not great, but the backs make it because of their patience. Here's Hubbard right here on a power gap scheme. Now you want to talk about patience. So he has patience and he knows where his blocks are coming, and then the ability to run through arm tackles make him very tough as an inside runner.
And Hubbard was a 1,200-yard rusher in 15 games last year, another 1,000-yard rusher with the Cowboys last year, wearing number 5 now with the Carolina Panthers is Rico Dowdle.
Yep, and Rico is averaging over 5 yards a carry, talking about their commitment to the run. Now they're going to run an inside zone here, a little bit different, and it's great the way they have the scheme and using their backs. But here, it's the patience of Rico and then his ability to set up that block by 64. Then when he gets to the second level, how many people does it take to bring him down?
All right, in the pass game, of course, they got the former number 1 overall pick, Bryce Young at quarterback, and a first-round pick, top 10 pick, Tet McMillan is one of those big guys out on the outside.
Quarterback's best friend is a running game and big receiver. So they got Leggett outside. They went and got Tet here, all right? So we'll take a look at Tet right here. They reduced the formation. The quarterback does a great job. He sees the safety coming down. They're pretending like it's cover 2. He sees the motion. Now what he's going to do is hold the safety and give the receiver time. And then after he makes the catch, this is one of the things that Tet does really well, is run after the catch.
All right, so those are some of the weapons on offense for the Panthers. On defense, it all starts up front with big number 95, Derek Brown.
And he'll be the star of the defensive show here. We want to talk about a couple things he can do. First off, it's being stout against the run. They play a read and react defense, which means he's got to read the blocks and stand firm. They're going to run a little stunt here, but you will see him set the edge and then just displace a human being and make a tackle inside the hole.
Just an example of how he had 100 tackles 2 years ago when he was healthy. Here's some more, number 95.
All right, we're going to talk about rushing the passer. Things quarterbacks hate the most is pressure up the middle. This guy is one of the best, and you don't have to get there, but you can restrict the lanes. And then he's got 34-inch arms, plus he's 6'4", 340-something pounds, but then the ability to be able to cover up windows and make a play like that.
And another example, in their win over the Dolphins, it was first series of the game, he disposes of the left guard here.
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing here. Again, it talked about his size, but here's a guy with movement. He can go through you, he can go around you. We want to talk about his speed, quickness, and agility right here. All right? They're going to see the formation. What he's going to do, he's set out wide. He's going to beat the guard across his face and close in a hurry. 2.4. We got to be ready off the snap.
All right, that gives you an idea of what to expect from the Panthers. Our thanks to Will McClay. And Cowboys Huddle continues in a moment. We go inside the trenches with the offensive line.
Most definitely helps preparations. You said seeing them the last 3 years with the same DC as last year. Anytime you've got that, I'm not going to say it's like a division game, but there's a lot of familiarities in just what they're going to do, how they're going to attack, what we think they're going to play us, or maybe a certain look or defense they're going to give us that we struggled with last year. So all of that helps. It's definitely different when you're playing a team 3 times on the road and not in the division, but I guess there's worse places to go to.
This segment was brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort. Proud to be the casino of the Dallas Cowboys. Please game responsibly.
Welcome back to Cowboys Huddle. Bill Jones here in the Globe Life Studios at the Star in Frisco, getting you ready for the Cowboys and Panthers. We go behind the Star now and meet Cowboys assistant defensive line coach Brian Bean.
Brian Bean, assistant defensive line coach. I've been coaching for 10 years, 7 years in college. This is my 3rd year in the NFL, working with the Dallas Cowboys, the Chicago Bears, and the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah, so I originally got in coaching just through one of my old coaches. He helped me get a GA job up at Heidelberg University in Tiffin, Ohio. I was actually coaching the running backs. That was my first job, working with those guys. And ever since then, I've been working with the D-line. Ended up going to Kent State University, had stops at Butler in Indianapolis, University of Pittsburgh for 2 years. Then I got my first coaching job, full-time position coach at Wofford College in Spartanburg, South Carolina. And then that's when I got into the league and started with the coach through the Tony Dungy Fellowship. Great opportunity and great career that helped me get started in the league, get my foot in the door, and continue to strive and work my way up to where I'm at now at the Dallas Cowboys. I really didn't dream of being a coach when I grew up. I originally wanted to be a police officer, kind of working in the crime scene unit. That's what I went to college for, forensic science. But again, I ended up making connections while I was in college, and one of my coaches said, hey, do you want to get into coaching? You can get free masters, you can get free living and all that stuff. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And that's where I got started, and it's been a blessing. To be a coach for the Dallas Cowboys, I mean, I never even dreamed about this, to be here. It's all God, and there was a plan of why I got here and why I'm here today. But, I mean, I still don't know what it's like to have that title. I mean, I have the title, but I'm striving to be better every single day, and I just think it's awesome to be here and be around and have that star on your chest every single day.
All right, now from the defensive line to the offensive line, let's stay in the trenches. The sounds of the game with that Cowboys O-line last week.
It all starts with the ability to win up front. You know, if you can win the line of scrimmage, which I thought we did certainly in the passing game, that's a huge part.
Let's go get it, baby. Go get it, man.
High formation behind Prescott in the gun. In the color rush whites. Play action, boot to the right. Looking, keeping. 35, turns left 40, and tripped at the 43-yard line. Leads the deep back. Handoff, Williams coming right. There's a block. Williams tiptoeing.
For those guys who don't normally start to get in and to play like starters and to own their roles and play at the standard that we did.
Great drive, good tank, good man. Great drive, ladies. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, man, let's go. Let's go. We're built for this, man. One at a time. For that first down, we need at least one right here.
Gun and hands it to Williams coming left. Nice block from Hoffman. And he's got a first down to the 21. Second down, a little shovel pass forward off a play fake, and the Jets were ready for it. Their play action boot wide open.
Finishing ain't just one series, two plays. You got me? Hands on the courts every time from now on, man. Good work, fellas. Good take. You know what it is. Take care of our defense right now.
Offensive line created a big hole. That was impressive, and that's what it's about, is taking advantage of each opportunity, because you don't know which play is going to break the game open. Credit everything he's doing, but there's a lot of those guys up front tonight who went and played nasty and played to the end of each whistle.
I love that nose. I love that nose. That's a beat.
You should be proud of yourself. It's a huge dub for the Horns, bro. You stepped up, short notice, didn't have no problems, but the operation went off without a hit, so.
Tyler Smith looking to get back on the field against those Carolina Panthers. We take an up-close look at the Panthers defense when the coach rejoins us on Cowboys Huddle in a moment.
Yeah, I feel like it's just how hard I go. Like you said, getting hit in yards and things like that. They know even if they might not block it the right way, I'm still going to try to get the yards. So I feel like that made them go even harder.
This segment is brought to you by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com.
Cowboys Huddle continues here inside the Globe Life Studios as the coach rejoins us. We get you set for the Cowboys and the Carolina Panthers and take a look at the Carolina defense. You know, it seems like, Coach, every week there's a big guy in the middle of the opposing defense. It was Quinnen Williams last week. It's Derek Brown this week. Derek Brown, of course, he got hurt last year, but the year before had over 100 tackles, which is unheard of for an interior defensive lineman.
Yeah, another dominant interior player. Like you said, Bill, we're used to this every week. We're going to see guys like this each and every week. But again, elite run defender, elite guy of pushing the pocket, knocking people back into the quarterback. And they did some different things from a front standpoint. They played him at defensive end some last week, and trying to ask tight ends to block him is a tough job. And yeah, he's a guy that there's no real way of game planning around him because he's so close to the football, but a good player.
Yeah, and how about your offensive line? Of course, you had 4 non-starters who were starting last week and came through in a very big way. Might be getting some guys back now, but you've got a team of offensive linemen that you can count on now.
Yeah, we're deep, Bill. I mean, that's the biggest thing we wanted to do. Talking with Steven and Jerry and Will McClay in the offseason was, hey, let's keep depth. I mean, you have to have the ability to withstand injuries, and you're going to have guys that are going to miss 3, 4, 5 weeks at times. And we've got a few guys coming back, I hope, and we'll find out some more tomorrow. But as you look at it, this is a game where we have to control the line of scrimmage, and those guys played well last week. Different challenge this week, more of a 3-4 family where they're trying to set edges and things like that, so it'll be a good challenge for us.
They've got a cornerback who was a first-round draft pick 4 years ago, J.C. Horn. You're familiar with that family. Joe Horn, yeah. 5th-round draft pick of Marty Schottenheimer's Kansas City Chiefs back in 1996.
Yeah, Joe was maybe one of the fastest players I've ever seen in my career, being on the staff in '97 when he was there. And again, just to watch J.C. and what he's done, he's a very talented young man, great ball skills, great coverage skills, and extremely talented. You can see why he was drafted so high.
All right, tell us about Ryan Flournoy, 6th-round draft pick out of Southeast Missouri State last year, and a great performance last week with 6 catches, 114 yards. What is it about Ryan Flournoy that has enabled him to be able to make this step?
Well, I think you see the guy, he played with confidence last week. I mean, he's a young player, from a small school. Sometimes it takes time for those guys to develop that confidence. But, just looking in his eyes, Bill, before the game started, he just had a different look on his eyes, like, hey, I belong. And I think that's important. But it's the strength, it's the physicality. The ball skills are elite, and he's a tough guy to bring down. And so, he got off to a great start. We hit the deep cross early in the game. He broke the tackle for the explosive on our first drive, and I think that kind of helped jumpstart the day for him.
All right, we wrap up Cowboys Huddle in just a moment. It's Schotty's shot for this week on the defensive side of the football.
It's super important. If we can't catch the ball, that's our whole job, is to catch the ball and be reliable to, the quarterback. When the ball in the air, just having strong hands, in a league like this, defenders are going to be on you. So you got to be able to catch in traffic or catch with, people around you. So strong hands is, valuable.
This segment was brought to you by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com.
First of all, I like his professionalism. He's first guy in, last guy to leave, works his butt off, pays attention to details. He's intentional in his work, and he's got some great slip to him. He's a real good athlete. He can run all the games that you want him to run. You saw the one game coming around the edge on the left side last week. He can turn it tight, and he's also strong. He's got strong ability to wrap up the quarterback and make those sacks. But I'm excited for his opportunity, and he's really made the most of it.
Final couple of minutes of Cowboys Huddle. Bill Jones with Brian Schottenheimer, and it's time for Schotty's Shot, where we take a look at a player that the coach has picked out, and there he is. It's James Houston.
Yeah, what can you say about James, Bill? I mean, this guy just from the minute he's got here, he's been so disruptive against us in practice. We played the Rams in the scrimmage out in Oxnard, and they literally changed their whole protection plan to have to block him. Got 3.5 sacks. You see the speed to close, finish quarterbacks. Again, we're being smart with how much we play him. But when you look at the amount of rushes that he has and how his ability to, again, set things up. But what I love about him is the closing speed and the ability to tackle. But a great practice player and a guy we're really lucky to have.
And he started his college career at University of Florida Gator, transfers to Jackson State, had 16.5 sacks for Coach Prime at Jackson State. He's just a tad over 6 foot tall, not the prototype as far as a pass rusher goes, but there have been been pass rushers in this league who have been very successful at his height.
Yeah, I think it's the ability, you know, sometimes when you have that size or the being a little shorter, you have the ability to bend an edge and kind of create situations, and you just watch, again, the ability to finish. And, again, I love the speed and explosiveness. He's got really good assortment of moves, and that's why we're talking about him today.
All right, James Houston with 3.5 sacks the first 5 games of this season. Coach, we appreciate it. We appreciate all of you joining us here on Cowboys Huddle, and we will see you again next week.
Cowboys Huddle with Brian Schottenheimer, powered by Reliant, was brought to you by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com. Ford, your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Bank of America, what would you like the power to do? And by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys.